While drunk, I slammed the table and shouted, Liu Fifi! Fifi, there's a scar on your inner thigh that I bit into. Right. Silence. So when will you finally become my son-in-law, huh? I'd rather become a monk than marry an ungrateful wretch like him. Even if all the women in this world died out, I wouldn't want to marry you. Later, when I returned from studying abroad, my parents told me to pick her up to have dinner at our house. But at the bar, I bumped into her new boyfriend. Knowing I came looking for Liu Fifi, the guy shoved me all the way to the door. A nobody trying to score a goddess? Who doesn't know Liu Fifi has a massive germophobia trigger? Get your boyfriend out of here. She wouldn't even spare a single glance at other guys. What's going on? Liu Fifi, Zheshen. Why are you here? Not bad, I thought you forgot about me. This guy actually dares to mess with the eldest miss of the Liu family. What's wrong? You just got back and you're already throwing a tantrum. Do you have any idea how much trouble I went through just to find you? Am I seeing things? Is this person before my eyes really the usually arrogant eldest miss of the Liu family? All right. Your hair is a total mess. Is the trendy style abroad right now a homeless artist look? Isn't this all thanks to your blessing? Me? What do you mean? I also just found out you returned to the country okay. Your boyfriend is quite a big shot, you know. I went inside to find you, and he immediately caused trouble for me and even shoved me. Liu Fifi, your taste in men is truly spectacular. Han Xuan, did you lay a hand on him? Who gave you the balls to touch him, huh? Eldest Miss Liu, let me explain. It's not what he says at all. It's because his attitude was way too arrogant. Plus, on what basis does he dare to call you? By your name directly, he has no respect for you. In a fit of anger, On what basis? On the basis that I allowed it. Since when is it your turn to control what he calls me? Originally, I was still a bit angry, but hearing her say that made me feel much better. Ha ha. I've liked Liu Fifi for a very long time. I've never seen any man dare to be so wild in front of Liu Fifi like that. Even her ex-boyfriends all had to address her as eldest Miss Liu. No one had ever been an exception. Eldest Miss Liu? I really didn't know. I didn't know your relationship with him was this good. I'm sorry, I really didn't know. Originally, I intended to teach this guy a lesson, but with him looking like this, how could I even teach him anything? But then again, this guy's pretty smart. Plus, he definitely knows Liu Fifi very well, which is why he knows frantically apologizing right now is the best move. All right, deal with it yourself. Han Xuan, tell me, how should I handle you? I'm sorry, it's my fault. I shouldn't have gotten physical without asking first. All right, no need to beat him anymore. If you keep beating him like this, it'll look like we're flexing our power to bully people. Let's go. Come back with me. The rest of you, if you want to keep playing, keep playing. If not, just disperse. I'm heading back first. Right, where's my phone? Eldest Miss Liu. Your phone is right here. Seeing the phone, all the grievances from not being able to call her earlier immediately welled up. Liu Fifi, when I called you just now, you actually didn't recognize my voice. Plus, I took a taxi here and didn't have money to pay. I wanted to call you for help, but you didn't even bother to answer the phone. If you're not going to use your phone, you might as well throw it away. The bar was so loud like that. It's normal not to recognize your voice. But what on earth happened to you out of nowhere? You come back to the country. Coming to find me this late, is there something important? Before, when I came back for Lunar New Year, I wasn't even this enthusiastic about finding her, Zheshen. Don't tell me you suddenly realized you like me, coming to find me in such a rush like this, and even fighting with my ex-boyfriend. Tell me, do you want to confess to me? Your skin is getting thicker and thicker by the day. Can't I just joke around a bit? You stayed in the US for a few years and lost your entire sense of humor. Tonight, I'm in a bad mood. You dare to mess around when I'm in a bad mood? You're really asking for it. Tell me, why did you come looking? For me, to get you to open the door, obviously. I don't have the keys to your place. You should call my mom. Not only will someone open the door for you, but they'll probably line up to welcome you. What? Wait a minute. The place you're talking about. It's not the apartment I'm currently staying in, right? Exactly. Why else would I come looking for you? I gave her a disdainful look. Why are you coming to my apartment at this hour? If you need a place to sleep, you can just go find my mom. Why come to me? Liu Fifi faintly realized something was off, but she didn't want to admit her intuition was right. She preferred to be wrong. Turns out you didn't know either. The two of us just got played by my godmother. Don't worry, I'm a victim too. I totally feel you, haha. What the hell is this? Why do I suddenly have to live with Zheshen? I still can't accept this. Even if we are childhood friends who grew up together, this is too much. What are you muttering under your breath? At this moment, I didn't say anything, tactfully giving Liu Fifi some time to process this information, while quietly standing aside, until a guy came charging at me furiously. Hey you! Pay up, kid. Are you trying to skip the bill? It turned out to be the taxi driver. I suddenly remembered that in my rush earlier, I got off the car without paying. My bad, bro, I'll pay you right now. I knew my pockets were cleaner than my face right now, so I had to drag Liu Fifi, who was standing aside as a bystander, over. Fifi, lend me some cash, I'm completely broke. Can't even pay for the taxi. If you don't believe me, look for yourself. Saying that, I pulled both my pockets inside out in front of her, then spread my arms out. Liu Fifi was completely speechless. She walked up to the driver and said politely, "Driver, how much is his fare? I'll pay." The driver critically scanned Liu Fifi, his eyes lingering on her designer handbag, and secretly rejoiced. This trip wasn't a waste of time after all. He just hit the jackpot. This girl clearly looked like someone with more money than brains. Couldn't he just charge whatever he wanted? Beautiful, this handsome bro's taxi fare here is 480 RMB. The payment QR code is right here. You can just scan it. Hearing this, I stepped forward to question him. Didn't your meter say 48 RMB? Where on earth did 480 RMB come from? Bro, believe it or not, I will report you. I was so angry I wanted to swear. Liu Fifi at this moment stepped in front of the driver again, being overly gentle. Driver, 480 RMB, right, I'll scan it for you. Ah, yeah, fantastic. Just scan right here and we're good. Heh. The payment receipt has been saved by me. I believe it will come in handy very soon. The next second, the driver's smile froze and his face turned pale. He thought he could scam someone out of a big sum, but unexpectedly got a taste of his own medicine. I was wrong, please don't report me. I have an old mother above and young children below. If I lose my job, what will I do? I have an old mother above and young children below. Please spare me. Liu Fifi ignored his crying and whining, picking up her phone to make a call. A moment later, the bodyguards rushed over. This guy extorted me. Handle it as you see fit. Rest assured, eldest Miss Liu, I will give you a satisfying result. After the bodyguard finished speaking, ignoring the driver's stiff resistance, he roughly picked him up and dragged him away. I saw that driver being dragged into an alley by the bodyguard and could faintly hear miserable screams. Let's go, time to go home. I nodded and followed Liu Fifi into her car. Accompanied by the roar of the engine, the car quickly sped away from the bar. Very soon, the two of them arrived at Liu Fifi's luxury apartment. I was just about to drag my luggage inside when my footsteps suddenly halted. I turned to Liu Fifi to negotiate with her, set up my fingerprint for the door. That way it'll be convenient for me to come and go. No way. On what basis do I have to register your fingerprint? I dropped my luggage, mimicking her crossed arms posture. Because starting today, I'm going to live here. If you don't register my fingerprint, how am I supposed to get in and out? Then I leaned in close to Liu Fifi, whispering right into her ear to tease her. Don't tell me eldest Miss Liu wants to be my personal butler, doing nothing but opening and closing the door for me all day. Live here? Who gave you permission to live here starting today, huh? Did you get my permission? This is my private sanctuary. Even though we are childhood friends, that doesn't mean I welcome you to invade my private space, you know. Humph, your godmother told me to live here. You think I actually want to? Zishin, earlier you said I was getting played by my mom. What did you mean? Is it related to this? Yo, eldest Miss Liu is pretty sharp. You finally caught on. I nodded affirmatively, dropping a major line. Fearing Liu Fifi would blow her top, I seriously explained to her, because you and I are about to get engaged. That's why they want us to live together, to nurture our feelings. Liu Fifi doubted whether she had heard wrong. What did you just say? You and I? Getting engaged? What the actual hell? Anyway, that's how it is. For the specific details, go ask your godmother yourself. I'm a bit tired. I'm super sleepy right now. Gotta take a shower and get some rest. Bye-bye. After saying that, I waved my hand at her and dragged my luggage toward the bedroom. Liu Fifi immediately yanked me back. Explain it clearly to me first, otherwise you're not going anywhere. Went with the flow of her pull and collapsed onto the sofa. I didn't say a word, just lying there like a corpse, using my actions to prove I was truly exhausted. Still as annoying as when we were kids. Hasn't changed one bit. Tomorrow I will call home and tell my mom to take you back to the main mansion. I'm staying here. Hearing this, I sat up from the sofa, scratched my head in confusion and said, Didn't I already tell you? Starting today, I'll be living at your place. Do you not understand human language? Liu Fifi petulantly retaliated, engagement or whatever. I will absolutely not agree. Well, if you don't agree, then go tell your parents yourself and grandfather Liu too. I don't call the shots here. Hearing this, she frowned again. Grandfather is involved in this too. What on earth is this giant mess? Seeing her looking frustrated, I suggested, How about the night after tomorrow you go back home for a bit? If there's anything you don't understand, just ask everyone directly. Hearing this, Liu Fifi felt a bit indignant. On what basis do you get to stay out of it? No way you have to come back with me too. I shrugged, acting like I didn't care. Fine by me. Anyway, she'll have to accept the final outcome in the end. Going back is fine too. I bet the scene will be quite lively. This trip won't be boring at all, haha. Oh right, you have school tomorrow morning, right? Don't forget to wake me up. Why are you following me to school? I sat on the sofa, smiling with squinted eyes as I told her, because starting tomorrow, I'll be transferring to your school. Liu Fifi wore an "are you kidding me" face, standing there dazed for a very long time. But I ignored her humming a little tune as I walked into the bathroom. After I finished showering and changed into pajamas, I gave Liu Fifi a heads up. I'm going to sleep. Early the next morning, Liu Fifi was extremely reluctant, but she couldn't just leave me stranded, so she had to drive me to school. The school Liu Fifi attended was a prestigious academy. The scenery was so beautiful it didn't even look like a school, but more like a high-end, luxury villa district. When we were still a few hundred meters away from the school gate, I suddenly shouted, "Stop, stop, stop! Let me off right here!" Liu Fifi stopped the car looking at me in confusion and asked, "We're not at the school yet. Why are you getting off?" I raised an eyebrow, smiled at Liu Fifi and replied, "Because I'm smart, that's why. For a major celebrity. In the school like you, eldest Miss Liu. If I walk into school with you, I'm afraid I won't have any peaceful days ahead. So to avoid trouble, I have to get off the car first." Liu Fifi frowned, becoming even more confused. "What kind of nonsense are you talking about?" Even though she didn't understand what the heck I was saying, she still didn't want to let me off the hook. "Yo, Zheshen, how did your balls get so small after going abroad? Are you really afraid of trouble? Or do you just not dare to walk with me, huh?" She leaned in close as she spoke, waiting to see me make a fool of myself. The unique fragrance on her body lingered round the tip of my nose, making my ears turn bright red. I then avoided her gaze and said loudly, "How is that possible? As if I'd be afraid of those guys. Liu Fifi, you're looking down on me way too much." Hearing my answer, Liu Fifi showed a sly smile. "Let's go then. Let's enter the school together." "Let's go then. Whoever doesn't go is a wimp." Liu Fifi didn't say anything, only stepping on the gas to drive into the school campus. Arriving at the parking lot, I didn't care about Liu Fifi, getting off the car on my own and walking straight ahead. I strolled around the school while waiting for Liu Fifi, not even knowing where I had walked to. Just as I turned around to head back, I accidentally bumped hard into a girl wearing glasses. The girl who got hit by me let out a soft groan, her expressive eyes tearing up. I hurriedly looked at her and said apologetically, "Classmate, are you okay?" "I'm fine, classmate. It's also because I wasn't looking where I was going." "Classmate, are you a newly transferred student? I've never seen you at school before." I guess you could say that. Today is indeed my first day." "If you just arrived, how about I show you around the school? Did you come here alone, or did you come with someone else?" I was just about to say I came with Liu Fifi, but I felt a bit annoyed just thinking about her. So I replied, "I came by myself." "Thanks, sorry for troubling you. My name is Zheshen." "Oh, right. How should I address you?" The girl smiled with the corners of her eyes and replied, "Hello, Zheshen. My name is Zhou Miao." And so along the way, the two of us chatted as we walked, the atmosphere being extremely harmonious. At this time, Liu Fifi had finished parking. Stepping out of the parking lot and not seeing me anywhere, she unconsciously frowned, thinking in her heart, "Zheshen, oh Zheshen, you really can't stop causing trouble for a second. In the end, did I get a fiancé, or am I raising a little brother?" She sighed, standing still for a moment, then took out her phone to call me. Seeing that I wasn't picking up at all, she had no choice but to call the principal to explain the situation, then walked around the school to look for me. As for me, my phone had dead battery a long time ago, so I completely didn't know that Liu Fifi on the other side was going crazy looking for me. "Zheshen, you scumbag, don't let me catch you!" Zhou Miao and I vibed really well. Later I learned that Zhou Miao's academic performance was excellent, always ranking first in the whole school, so I casually teased her. For a prestigious academy like ours, there must be a campus bell ranking, right? "Looking at you, Zhou Miao, you're pretty, have a gentle personality, and excel in studies, always taking first place. You must be the school queen, right?" "Zheshen, thank you for recognizing me, but I'm really not the school queen. I'm not qualified to be the school queen. No way, even you don't count as the school queen." "Zhou Miao, you're so pretty, and yet you're not the school queen then." "Wait a minute. Damn, don't tell me the school queen is Liu Fifi." Hearing me blurt out that name, Zhou Miao lowered her head, then gently pushed up her glasses. "You know her, she's very famous at school. Word has it she has a lot of boyfriends. You're also a big shot. Although we're in different years, she probably knows you too, right?" "I know her, but we're not close. She really does have many boyfriends. As long as they're a handsome guy, she wants to be friends with them." "Do you like her too?" "Just based on her, she's a total green tea. I wouldn't waste my time liking her." And here I thought it was another admirer of Liu Fifi. But this Zheshen guy, when mentioning Liu Fifi, doesn't have any look of admiration or desire on his face at all. This guy named Zheshen is pretty interesting. I would never like a person like her. If I had to choose, I think you're much better than her. What's so great about her anyway? She just has money and good looks. Her personality is terrible. Whoever likes her is just unlucky Zhou Miao. This was the first time she had heard someone describe Liu Fifi like that, so she couldn't help but be a bit surprised, looking at me as if I were an alien. Seeing me making a look of disgust, she burst out laughing. "You're really interesting, Zhishen." She also became closer to me, no longer feeling any sense of distance. I hurriedly closed the distance. "Right now, I still don't know which class I'm in. Zhou Miao, tell me which class you're in, so I can come hang out with you often later. Anyway, I just returned to the country. So if there's anything I don't understand, can I look for you?" A top student who is both beautiful and smart like Zhou Miao, and also has a personality that matches mine perfectly, is of course someone I must befriend. A friend who is both capable and smart. Making a few more of them is never a bad thing, and it will come in handy in the future. Sure, my class is on the 3rd floor. If there's anything you don't understand, just come look for me. At this moment, I look at around the campus. Seeing no one else around, they had probably all gone to class. I said to Zhou Miao, "Then I won't delay your class anymore. As a new student, I probably have to report to the principal's office. When I'm free, I'll look for you later. Bye-bye." Saying that, I walked toward the administration building. On the other side, in the principal's office, the principal was startled upon seeing me. He immediately stood up, very attentively bringing out fruit and drinks to welcome me. "Young Master Ji, please sit and wait a moment." After that, he stepped outside to call Liu Fifi, informing her that I was in the principal's office. "Eldest Miss, young Master Ji is currently in the principal's office." Hearing Liu Fifi confirm that she knew, he even flatteringly said, "Yes, yes. Eldest Miss, you don't need to trouble yourself to come over. Just go back to class first. Later, I'll have a teacher escort young Master Ji directly to class." Only after Liu Fifi hung up did the principal breathe a sigh of relief. Then he returned to the office and made another phone call. A moment later, a man was seen walking in. Wearing black-rimmed glasses, looking very serious, he respectfully asked the principal, "Principal, did you call me for something?" "This is the newly transferred student, Zhishen." Student Ji previously studied abroad at a prestigious high school. His academic performance is extremely outstanding. "Teacher, please take him to class. He is a key focus for our school's development. You understand, right? As for the hidden," meaning in the principal's words, how could Teacher Nui not understand? Replying that he understood, he then led me away. Very quickly, I followed the teacher to the classroom door. Thinking back to the moment in the principal's office just now, hearing the principal say my academic performance was outstanding, I had to try hard to suppress my laughter, though originally 473. I returned to the country to study just with a mindset of playing around for fun. I only came back to the country to study with a playful, just-for-fun mindset, so those things didn't really matter. The teacher named Ngui led me into the classroom and said to the classmates, "This is a newly arrived transfer student, Zhishen. Introduce yourself so everyone can get to know you." "Hello everyone, I'm Zhishen. Gender male, hobbies female. Please take good care of me from now on." Hearing my introduction, not a few people started whispering in each other's ears. I scanned my eyes around the room, wanting to see if there were any pretty girls. Of course I had to choose. To sit next to a cute female classmate. At least it would be eye candy, I thought to myself. Perhaps because it was a prestigious school. At a glance, there were indeed a few female students who looked very pretty. Too bad I had just met Zhou Miao. By comparison, these ones didn't feel worth looking at. At this moment, Teacher Ngui cleared his throat and said, "Zhishen, which classmate do you want to sit with? As long as the other party agrees, it's fine." Just as the teacher finished speaking, it immediately made the female students present jump up in excitement, all talking at once. "Zhishen, come sit with me. I'll buy you breakfast every day from now on, okay? My grades are really good. Come sit next to me. If you have any study problems later, I'll back you up. And I'll cover all your daily snacks. Handsome bro, handsome bro. You can order me around however you want." As soon as these words were said, it caused everyone else to let out an "oh" sound. I found them all very interesting. Thinking for a bit, I opened my mouth and asked, "Who is the prettiest female student in our class?" But what I didn't expect was that upon hearing this question, everyone was stunned, and then looked toward a certain spot at the same time, though their expressions were all a bit strange. Following the whole class's gaze, I also looked over there, discovering that it was the very last seat of the row next to the window. Could it be that the prettiest girl didn't come to class today? Zhishen the first, of course, have to choose the prettiest one. Those 2 seats were both empty, so I smiled and walked over there, then sat down on the empty chair. "Teacher Nui, I will sit here." Teacher Ngui's expression was a bit awkward. Laughing it off, he said, "If you like it, just sit there. All right, quiet down. In the future, you must care for and help the new classmate more." Unity and friendship understood. All right, now let's continue the lesson. At this point, who still had the mind to listen to the lecture, the female students were all poking their heads out to peek at me, while the male students looked at me with judging and comparing eyes. After class, I felt bored, so I wanted to go look for Liu Fifi, to see how she was enjoying her free and easy life. Going up to the second floor of the academic building, I walked straight to the second classroom to find her. Arriving there, I scanned around and naturally saw that annoying Liu Fifi. She was actually making eyes at some random male student, no matter what. I currently have an engagement with her. It's normal for me to be a little jealous, right? I thought to myself, this Liu Fifi is really too much. Clearly knowing it was my first day at school, that I didn't understand anything, and everything was completely foreign. I had walked so far with Zhou Miao without seeing her come look for me, yet she was busy flirting with this male student. It really made me mad to death. At this moment, I rolled my eyes, secretly cursing Liu Fifi, since you're being heartless. Then don't blame me for being unjust. Just you wait. Hey, classmate over there, can you please help me call Liu Fifi? Just say her husband is looking for her. Sorry to trouble you. All right, I'll go call her right away. Muttering so cute. Liu Fifi, your husband is looking for you. The classroom, which was originally noisy, suddenly became dead silent. I could completely imagine everyone's wide-eyed expressions. A few minutes later, I saw Liu Fifi walking over with a deadpan face. I waved my hand to signal that I was over here. Zishin, I knew it was you. Are you trying to ruin things on purpose, right, Liu Fifi? You only care about talking to other men, and don't care about me at all. Wait until we go back to the Liu family tonight, and see how I snitched to my godmother. Liu Fifi let out a sigh and said, Zishin, what exactly do you want? I haven't even settled the score with you for this morning yet. Getting off the car and running off, not even answering the phone. Do you know how much effort it took me to look for you? Saying that she looked at me with grievance. I didn't care about her resentful gaze at all, only repeatedly peeking behind her back. Sure enough, I saw that the male student who was with Liu Fifi earlier had also followed her out and was looking this way. Knew it. So I came up with a bad idea and directly threw my arm around her shoulder. That male student saw this action of mine and his face turned red with anger. His two hands clenched tightly into fists, but he didn't dare to charge forward because he remembered eldest Miss Liu's rules clearly. He could only stare blankly at me, leading her away, grinding his teeth in anger. I took her away from the crowd. Liu Fifi only then reacted, shrugging off my hand that was on her shoulder, then glared at me and asked, Impressive, who gave you the balls to treat me like this? Have I been treating you too well? So much injustice, I just saw you being so close to another male student, and got a bit jealous. So I came up with this method. It was just to flex on that male student, so he would stay a bit further away from you, and at the same time let our classmates know you're my fiancé. I really didn't do it on purpose. Can you forgive me? I'll treat you to food. Zishin, can you please behave yourself from now on? Stop causing trouble for me, will you? I just want to attend school in peace. Can you please grant me this wish? So I hurriedly changed the subject and said, Are you hungry? Let's go grab some food. We still have class after eating. Saying that, I dragged Liu Fifi and ran toward the cafeteria. As soon as we reached the cafeteria, Liu Fifi saw her classmates, so she waved her hand at me and walked toward them, leaving me all by myself feeling depressed because I couldn't find an empty table. Turning my head around, I saw a female student quietly eating her meal, so I took the initiative to walk over and ask, Hey classmate, the cafeteria is completely full. Can the two of us share this table? The girl stared at me for a long time, before nonchalantly replying with a single word, Sure. After sitting down, I secretly peeked at her delicate face, thinking to myself, 621. This girl is really beautiful. This girl is seriously so gorgeous. That cold aura of hers is truly attractive, making people unable to resist wanting to find out more about her. I didn't say anything, just quickly finished my meal. After returning to the classroom, the first period in the afternoon was language arts. At this moment, I noticed that my deskmate, who hadn't shown up for a long time, finally made an appearance. I took a closer look. Isn't this the same girl I shared a table with just now? So I happily whispered to her, What a coincidence we meet again. She didn't say anything, just gave me a nonchalant glance and nodded to signal she remembered. After that, I pushed my luck and asked her, What's your name? My name is Yashen. I just transferred to this school. The girl remained silent, only knitting her brows. Seeing that she did not reply, I felt a bit rebellious, making me want to continue chatting with her even more. Beautiful, beautiful. What exactly is your name? In the end, she seemed to be annoyed by my questioning, so she wrote the two words Yu Shin on a piece of paper and tossed it over to me. Now that I knew her name, I didn't bother her anymore. This class to me was truly like a hypnosis session, making me keep dozing off. Compared to me, Yu Shin sitting next to me studied very hard. She was even called on by the teacher to answer a question. Finally, it dragged on until school let out. The moment the teacher walked out of the classroom, I stretched, planning to head straight home. I collapsed onto the desk and slept like a log, totally out of it. It wasn't until I was patted awake by Yu Shin that I realized the two of us were the only ones left in the classroom. Yu Shin spoke nonchalantly. School is over. Do you want to keep sleeping? Seeing that I still had a dazed face, she let out a soft laugh and then added, If you don't leave now, the security guard will lock the doors. Are you sure you want to spend the night here tonight? I instinctively shook my head, hurriedly stood up, and prepared to leave. Just as I was about to step out of the classroom, I turned around and said to Yushin, thanks for the reminder. I'll head out first then. It's getting late, you should go home quickly too. It's not safe for a girl to go home too late, right? After saying that, I walked straight out, leaving Yushin alone sitting on her chair, her face full of smiles as she looked toward the direction I left. Once I left the classroom, I prepared to call Liu Fifi to ask where she was. I called her several times in a row, but she didn't answer. What kind of trick is Liu Fifi playing now? Didn't we agree to go back to the Liu family mansion tonight? By the time I finally got in touch with Liu Fifi, she casually replied, I've already arrived at the main mansion. Hurry up and get over here, the whole family is waiting for you to eat. Why didn't you take me with you? Liu Fifi, you're something else. Just wait until I get back to the main mansion and see how I snitch on you to my godmother. Just you wait. I walked to the school gate to catch a cab. While waiting, I boredly kicked some pebbles with my feet. Then I saw Yushin slowly walking out from inside the school campus. The two of us were both stunned when we saw each other, asking in unison, why haven't you left yet? Just at that moment, her driver pulled up by the roadside in a black car. Yushin was just about to get into the car, but seeing that I was still waiting by the roadside, she hesitated for a moment, plucked up her courage and took the initiative to ask, where are you planning to go? Do you need me to give you a ride? This school is pretty far from the city center. No need, my car is also about to arrive. You should hurry home. See you tomorrow. Okay. The car quickly drove away. Not long after Yushin's car left, my car also arrived, heading toward the villa at Sonvien. A moment later, we arrived at the main mansion of the Liu family. I got off the car and walked toward the iron gate. Inside the villa, I saw a group of servants lined up in a row, shouting in unison, Young master, welcome back. At first, I was startled by this grand display, but then I reacted, waved my hand at the servants and stepped inside. Just as I stepped inside, there was a sudden bang. A party popper went off, scaring the heck out of me. A shower of colorful ribbons fell all over me. Zishun is back, haha. Seeing the image of the two of us standing next to each other, Mother Liu flashed a satisfied smile, then dragged the two of us into the banquet hall. I saw that the living room was decorated very festively, and they had even invited quite a few people over. Everyone was dressed very formally. The corner of my eye twitched. Full of doubt, I looked over at Liu Fifi. Liu Fifi, at this moment, lowered her voice and whispered in my ear, this is the engagement party my mom threw for the two of us. Because my mom said there's no better day than today, and coincidentally both of us are back, so she decided to hold it today. Are you accepting reality this time? Not resisting anymore. At this moment, Liu Fifi was just about to strike back at me, but seeing guests walking toward the two of us, she put on a smile and linked her arm through mine, giving me a pinch. Once the guests left, the two of us immediately let go of each other. Just as we were about to start bickering again, we heard Mother Liu call out loudly, Zishen, Fifi, where are you two? Hurry over and look. I ordered for your engagement party an extremely beautiful cake. You two will definitely love it. Hearing this, I helplessly replied, yes, we're coming right now. As I spoke, I dragged Liu Fifi toward the cake. When we arrived there, we saw a 10-tier cake, unbelievably gorgeous looking just like a castle. It was truly the dream cake of every girl. I stole a glance at Liu Fifi's expression at this moment, only to see her eyes curving up like crescent moons as she looked at the cake, her eyes filled with joy. Then Father Liu suddenly patted my shoulder and solemnly instructed me take good care of Fifi in the future. Understood, I'm handing my girl over to you. You must not let her down. Grandfather Liu also nodded. His usually majestic and strict face today also broke into a joyful smile. As he continued, being able to see you and Fifi together, I can die content. As long as you two live in harmony and warmth, that's better than anything else. After saying that, he also patted my shoulder gently. When Liu Fifi heard these words, she pouted in dissatisfaction, but no one ever asked me whether I actually want to marry him or not. But catching grandfather's strict gaze, she didn't dare to directly say she didn't want to in front of so many people, so she had to give up. Right here, I officially announce, Zishen and Fifi are officially engaged. To let you two build your feelings further, and since you haven't graduated yet, there's no rush to get married for now. Once Liu Fifi graduates, you two will go abroad to get married. Liu Fifi, standing beside me, gave me a speechless glare. What do you mean by that, huh? You don't want to marry me? I haven't even rejected you yet, and you actually dare to look down on me. At this moment, Liu Fifi signaled for me to lower my head. Zishen, have you always been secretly crushing on me? Is that why you want to marry me so bad? Originally, because of her closeness and her rare, gentle tone, my heart skipped a beat, but I didn't want to admit it. So I gave her a look, pulled away, and said, Eldest Miss, you shouldn't be so narcissistic. Who's crushing on you? I'm also being forced, okay? Well, if you're not willing either, then fine, let's rebel together. I believe Father Liu loves you so much. He definitely won't force you to marry someone you don't like, right? You just need to go find Father Liu and complain a bit. Father Liu is soft-hearted. He might even cancel it, hearing the last part. Liu Fifi frowned unconvinced and argued back. Then why the heck shouldn't it be you saying it? That the two of us aren't compatible. Why must it be me who says it? At this moment, my stubborn, childish streak also kicked in. So I said, I'm just not going to bring it up. What can you do to me? In the end, I felt I should still remind her a bit. But no matter what, the fact that we're engaged is already set in stone. Vertical bar. I advise you to just accept your fate. You actually know how to accept fate. I spread my hands and shrugged. I accepted it a long time ago. Liu Fifi, what are you worrying about? If we want to officially marry, we have to wait until we graduate. During this time, who knows, there might be other variables. What if we don't even need to marry anymore? Hearing my enlightenment, Liu Fifi turned her sorrow into joy. What do I have to worry about? If we marry, we marry. Just having one more husband, there's nothing bad about it. What are you doing? Sishen, you underestimate me way too much. I see you completely don't understand women at all. Want to bet? Bet then. Didn't expect you to take the initiative like that. Dear Zhishen, since you're this enthusiastic, then I won't stand on ceremony either. I was about to push it further when suddenly I felt a lot of eyes staring at us. I immediately let her go, discovering that almost all the guests were looking at us. My face blushing all the way to my ears. Oh God. The two of us just now were bickering so hard we forgot where we were, forgetting that we were still at the engagement party. This time it's embarrassing as hell. From behind came the good-natured laughter of the elders. I hurriedly dragged Liu Fifi and ran outside. It's all your fault daring to pin me against the wall in public. Now look what happened. Everyone saw it. What do you say we should do? I replied dismissively. What's the point of looking into this now? It's our engagement party anyway. What's wrong with us being a little intimate? Just as we got back to the luxury apartment when the two of us walked to the door, I lowered my head to open the door with my fingerprint. At this time, Liu Fifi's phone rang. Is it my mom? Liu Fifi looked at the incoming call, feeling a bit of a headache, suddenly having a bad feeling. Hello. Fifi, there's something I forgot to tell you. That apartment of yours, I had someone renovated a little. You two are fiancé and fiancée now. From now on, you must sleep in the same room. That way your feelings can develop quickly. Understood, renovated it a little, Mom. How did you let people in? Right at this moment, I stepped into the house and looked around. Feeling something wasn't right, so I looked toward Liu Fifi and asked, why did the room turn out like this? Was the house robbed? Liu Fifi immediately understood what was going on. She let out a bitter laugh. Mom, don't tell me you completely cleared out Sishen's room. Of course, Mother Liu replied righteously. I won't allow you two to sleep separately. From now on, you two must sleep together, understood? Wow. If you don't listen to me, I'll immediately pack you two off abroad. Abroad allows early marriage, you two figure it out yourself. I know. I bought a little gift and left it on the bed for you two. The mom on the other end of the line smiled a bit mysteriously. Later, you two unbox it yourselves and see. I won't disturb you two resting anymore. Good night, Manhwa. Saying that the phone immediately disconnected. When Fifi finished listening, she had a bad feeling. By the time the two of us entered the bedroom together, we saw a box left on the bed, and it was quite big too. What gift is this? I happily opened the box. Godmother treats us really well. Wait, balloons? She bought a whole box of balloons. But why did Godmother buy so many balloons? Liu Fifi just, after hanging up, saw my shocked face and curiously leaned in close. What is it that has you so surprised, Amma? Until she saw the items in the box. Her face flushed bright red, her eyes avoiding mine, remaining silent without a word. The two of them stared at each other for a long time, then looked at each other and smiled bitterly. I looked into the box and said, this box of balloons. There must be at least a few hundred of them. Giving us this many, when will we ever finish using them? Who wants to use them with you? Why are you so narcissistic, huh? What's there to be embarrassed about, Pierre? We are fiancé and fiancée anyway. Zhishen, you are truly a rascal. Ha ha ha. The two of us fooled around for a bit, and then I asked her, so what's our plan for tonight? Liu Fifi's smile froze for a moment. There didn't seem to be any better way. I pondered for a moment, then suggested, it's late already. You sleep on the bed, I'll go sleep on the sofa. Let's decide it that way. Good night, sweet dreams. I didn't wait for Liu Fifi to reply before going out to the living room to sleep. Early the next morning, after finishing washing up, I sat on the sofa, waiting for Liu Fifi, while playing on my phone to kill time. I played for a long time but still didn't see Liu Fifi come out, so I went to knock on the door. There was no movement. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. Liu Fifi, hurry up and get up. We're gonna be late for school. Late. A moment later, Liu Fifi, neatly dressed, walked out from the bedroom and said to me, "Let's go quickly." I nodded. So the two of us sped like the wind to school, arriving at school with 5 minutes left before class started. I sat in my favorite spot thinking to myself, great, not late. "Morning, Yushin?" She nonchalantly replied to me with a single word, "Morning." Then she smiled at me. Just that single curl of her lips made me dazed for a moment. Shortly after the bell for class rang, the teacher walked in and began lecturing, starting a boring, ordinary day. Halfway through the lecture, I found it truly too boring. I couldn't focus at all, so I just made up an excuse to sneak right out, planning to wander around outside the school gate. Walking to the main gate, just as I was about to step outside, I was blocked by the security guard. The rigid security guard said strictly, "Student, you are not allowed to go out. Please show your permission slip." I talked back, "I don't have a permission slip, but I really have some business to take care of outside. I already told the instructor. I only recognize permission slips. If you don't have one, you can't leave the school campus. Or you can call your homeroom teacher and clarify it with me over the phone." Originally, I was skipping class. If I called the instructor, would I even live to see tomorrow's sun? This guard is really strict. I didn't say anything directly, turned around and left. I found a wall to climb over, scaling it, to get out. Just after getting out of the gate on a whim, I directly called this principal. "Hello, Principal, I am Zashin here. Our school gate security guard is truly dedicated and dutiful." After saying that, not even caring how the principal would reply, I just hung up the phone and went back to the luxury apartment to catch up on sleep. This kid Zashin. Why did he suddenly mention the security guard? Did something happen? Whatever. I'll just call the chief of security to ask first. "Hello, security department. I heard your security department is working very dedicatedly and dutifully. Go check out what's going on and handle this matter properly." The security chief was utterly bewildered. Dedicated and dutiful. That didn't sound like a praising tone at all. Could it be that someone caused trouble? Who dares to bring trouble to me? I must go see who exactly is on shift. At worst, just fire him to get it over with. Even if I misunderstood the intent, the principal won't make things hard for me over a mere guard. What if someone really caused trouble, and I still keep this person? Then I can't shoulder this responsibility. The guard who stopped me was suddenly called in for a talk. His superior went on and on with a long speech. He couldn't remember any of it, finally only remembering exactly one sentence. "Tomorrow you don't need to come to work anymore." He didn't dare to ask his superior directly, while the superior avoided his gaze, feeling extremely guilty in his heart too. The guard stood frozen in a daze on the spot. Turns out just carrying out one's duty properly is also a mistake. At this moment, a clear voice rang out, "Mr. Kappa, what are you doing here?" The guard turned his head around. He saw a girl wearing glasses standing next to him. Asking in confusion, "Eldest Miss..." The security guard immediately greeted her respectfully. Zhu Miao burst out laughing upon hearing the guard call her that. "I'm no wealthy heiress or eldest Miss Cha, just someone from an ordinary family. So you don't need to be so respectful to me, mister." Hearing this, the guard immediately felt a sense of closeness with this girl. Turns out she was just an ordinary person like him. "Thank you, young lady. You must study hard and strive for a brighter future. Also, thank you for your concern. But I'm about to lose my job anyway. I'm just feeling a bit melancholy in my heart." The guard didn't intend to go into details, but he couldn't resist the girl's persistent questioning, and finally had to tell her everything from beginning to end. Zhou Miao's brows furrowed constantly as she listened. In the end, she comforted the security guard. "It's okay, mister. I know everything now. Just go home and rest first today. This matter will have a satisfactory answer. Rest assured they absolutely won't fire you." Without waiting for him to reply, she hurriedly ran toward the academic building, charging straight to my classroom. Arriving there, she casually pulled back a female student who was about to enter the class. "Hi, could you please help me call Zashin out?" That female student nodded, then walked into the class, looked around, and came back out to face her, replying, "I'm sorry Zashin isn't in class. Why don't you come back and check later?" "Thank you, I got it." Early the next morning, I woke up feeling extremely refreshed and went to school with Liu Fifi. When passing through the school gate, I habitually glanced over, seeing a completely unfamiliar face. I paused for a moment, then didn't think much of it and walked straight into the lecture hall area. Just as I entered, I spotted Zhou Miao ahead. I excitedly walked up to greet her. Zhou Miao. Long time no see. Good morning, Zhou Miao. Hearing that, Zhou Miao furrowed her brows, completely ignoring me, and stared at me with pure dissatisfaction. I was stared at by her until I felt uncomfortable, so I spoke up and asked, "What's up with you? Did someone upset you?" "Tell me, I'll take revenge for you, Chu." Miao opened her mouth and replied, "No one upset me. It's just that I'm in a bad mood. I can't do anything anyway. Unlike you, eldest young Master Jia, the whole world has to revolve around you. When you're unhappy, someone else has to take the blame, right?" Saying that, she didn't even bother to look. Me turned around and walked away in one go. I was left utterly dumbfounded by Zhou Miao's sarcastic attitude. How bizarre. What the heck is going on here? I walked into the class and sat down in my seat, feeling depressed and unhappy in my heart. Yushin gave me a nonchalant glance and took the initiative to ask, "What's wrong with you?" I looked at Yushin with gratitude, asking, "Tell me, why exactly is Zhou Miao so angry?" Yushin was stunned by my question, remaining silent for a long time. Seeing the slightly bewildered look in her eyes, I suddenly remembered that I hadn't told her the whole story yet. Truly a goldfish brain. Sigh. After listening, Yushin showed a pensive face. "I remember you told me just now that after you sneaked out yesterday, you called the principal, right? What did you say?" I recalled for a bit and replied, "I didn't say much. Just that my head got hot at that time, so I called the principal and told him the security department people work very dedicatedly and dutifully. I didn't say anything else, really." Yushin fell silent for a moment, let out a soft sigh, and told me, "I guess when the principal received your call, he didn't know what happened either, so he went to question his subordinates. The people below probably misread the vibe. As for why Zhou Miao is angry, I guess it's highly likely due to empathy." "What does that mean?" I looked at her confused. "You don't know?" "Seeing how you and Zhou Miao have such a good relationship, please tell me about it." "So you..." Shin began to fill me in. She said Zhou Miao, because of her excellent college entrance exam scores, was highly scouted by the school. The school granted her a very high scholarship. The reason she accepted was because her family is very poor. Hearing up to here, I was shocked, really. I see the way Zhou Miao dresses. Doesn't look like a poor student at all. But then again, maybe it's because her aura is like a high-class, wow, noble lady, so whatever clothes she wears don't look cheap. Yushin continued her story. "Of course it's true. A lot of people know her family background is ordinary, and it's a single-parent family, too. Apparently in the past, while her mom was working a part-time job, she was bullied by rich people, which is why she has a huge aversion to wealthy people. I didn't expect there to be so much hidden history, thinking to myself, no wonder she had that attitude toward me just now. She must have misunderstood me about something. These past few days, you've probably seen it often in school. Male students confessing their love to her, right? Those male students are basically all rich second gen, so it's pretty easy to guess. They were definitely rejected bluntly. So if it wasn't a rich second gen confessing to her, would her attitude be different? I don't know about that. It seems like that scenario has never happened. Our university is an elite school. The people who can get in here are mostly either rich or noble, with only a tiny minority getting a special admission due to outstanding grades. But these smart male students are usually quite insecure, so they definitely wouldn't dare confess to her. I suddenly realized and nodded. Through Yushin's enlightenment, I gradually figured things out. No wonder Zhou Miao was so angry just now. She probably thought of how her mother was once bullied by others. So based on what you said, I think maybe she misunderstood you, thinking that you were in a bad mood and vented your anger on the security guard. I really didn't mean that at all. At that time, I was indeed a bit annoyed. But I'm not the type who, just because of a bad mood, would casually abuse my power like some spoiled rich brat. Yushin let out a soft sigh, her clear voice ringing out again. Actually, this kind of thing isn't something we're seeing for the first time. This world has always been a dog-eat-dog place, so the existence of things like this is also very normal. Therefore, no matter what, I also bear some responsibility for this matter. I know what to do now. What do you want to do? Suddenly, we felt the surrounding space become unusually quiet. Looking up, we saw the teacher on the podium staring right at us. You two are affecting the learning of other students. If you want to talk, go outside and talk. We looked at each other, then obediently shut our mouths and listened to the lecture. As soon as class was over, I practically flew to find Zhou Miao. At her classroom door, I called a female student over. Hi, could you please help me call Joe Meow out? Say that Jishen is looking for her. Thanks. Oh, is it you confessing so early today? Not bad being this sincere. I support you. I'm looking for her not because of that sigh. Anyway, just please call her for me. For the sake of you being this handsome I'll give you a hand. I think you have a shot. Make sure to grasp it well. Joe Meow, there's a very handsome guy outside. He says he's Jishen. Waiting outside, I was worried whether Joe Meow would even come out. But unexpectedly, she actually stepped out. What do you want with me? Her attitude was quite cold, which made me feel uncomfortable, thinking that she was still misunderstanding me. Give me a few minutes. Let's go outside and talk. So we stepped out of the classroom and walked to the empty courtyard next to the academic block. I looked all around, making sure no one was snooping, before solemnly speaking to her about the security guard matter. I didn't do this. It wasn't under my direction at all. Rest assured I will find a way to solve it. But Joe Meow, you crossed the line today. You completely didn't know the whole story, yet threw all the blame on my head. Do you think that's fair to me? After saying that I was about to turn around and walk away, Joe Meow looked at me stunned by my seriousness. Seeing that I was about to leave, she suddenly ran a few steps after me, tugging my arm and blurting out, "I'm sorry." I paused but didn't turn around. She said, "I'm sorry," once more. She knew she had wrongly blamed me after hearing my explanation. She originally thought that I was just like the other male students, approaching her with an ulterior motive, so she instinctively, thinking that I am the type of guy who relies on power and loves to bully others. She also didn't expect that I would seriously explain to her the matter about the security guard like that, thinking, up to here she suddenly smiled really gently. This time I turned around, intentionally saying your apology. I heard it, but for now I don't want to forgive you. After saying that, I brushed her hand off and left. Joe Meow stood there dazed, staring at my retreating figure for a long time, unable to snap out of it. After that, I went to the principal's office. Even though the bell for class had already rung, I didn't bother to care, charging straight into the principal's office and directly speaking up. I have something to discuss with you. I'm sorry I couldn't stop young Master Gu. The principal rubbed his temples. He was originally angry and about to scold someone, but seeing that the person who came was me, he immediately changed his expression and smiled brightly. Ha ha ha, it's young Master Gu. Is there something wrong? Hurry over here and sit down. You go out first. Young Master Gu and I have some matters to discuss. The secretary's jaw dropped in shock. This was probably the first time she saw the principal acting so close and pampering toward a student like that. By the time she recovered, under the signaling gaze of the principal, she hurriedly walked outside. After sitting down, I walked straight to the front of his desk, slammed it, and asked, "Tell me, why did you do that?" I only praised our school's security guard for being dedicated and dutiful. Yes, I admit, my attitude yesterday was indeed not good. But I really didn't mean for him to be fired. I only told the chief of security to go look into the situation a bit. Huh, did I ever say to fire him? I didn't want to fire him. Rehire that security guard, BL. Let him come back to work, you. You let him come back to work. He is really very dedicated and dutiful. Having an employee who loves and respects his profession like that, we should be proud instead. The principal pondered for a moment. Well, that's fine since you've said so. It's not convenient for me to say anything more. But Gu Chen, you can't be like this in the future. Just getting angry and finding someone to vent on saying harsh words. You're already an adult. You must learn to take responsibility for your actions, right? These few words from the principal truly shocked me. I began to reflect on myself, waiting until I thought it through. Thoroughly, I bowed to the principal and said, "Yes, this matter is indeed my fault. How about this, after you rehire that security guard, give him a raise, okay? Of course, I will take care of this money, giving it under my personal name." After saying that, I took out my phone and transferred the money to the principal. Then I left the principal's room. Stepping out of the principal's office, my whole body felt relieved. This matter is finally resolved. I couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, mouth humming a tune while walking toward the lecture hall. While walking, I ran into Liu Fifi. I curiously looked at Liu Fifi. "Where are you going?" Liu Fifi stopped and didn't say anything, just crossed her arms over her chest and stared at me for a long time. I was stared at by her to the point of confusion. She finally spoke up. "What did you go to the principal's office for?" "You went to the principal's office because of that Joe Meow, right? Tell me." "What?" "You know Joe Meow." Liu Fifi bit her lower lip slightly and muttered, "She and I once had a conflict. How could I not know her?" Then she looked at me with an expression of pure disappointment. Gu-chen, you total scumbag. Seeing a pretty female student, you just disregard everything and charge in. Now I get it, the pretty girl you mentioned before. Turns out it was Joe Meow. Even that time before when you suddenly demanded to get off the car, it was also because you saw Joe Meow. That's why you abandoned me, right? What exactly do you mean by this? If you find me eyesores, just say it straight. I won't shamelessly cling onto you either. Saying that, she looked at me with tearful eyes, seeing Liu Fifi. Crying, I also felt a bit heartbroken. Then I gently and patiently explained, Fifi tool. I didn't mean that, I really didn't. I only consider her a friend. Friends, the video of you two pulling and tugging each other has already gone viral across the school. By now, who doesn't know that you're the first guy Joe Meow has ever laid eyes on? What video pulling and tugging what? Liu Fifi took out her phone and opened a video for me to see. I leaned in close to look. In the video, it was indeed the scene of me and Joe Meow talking just now. Only because the distance was too far, one couldn't hear what we were saying. But the actions of the two of us were clearly seen. People who don't know the truth would definitely think we have something ambiguous going on. No, you've misunderstood. What did I misunderstand, Ta? Did you go find her or not? Did you pull and tug with her? Or not? Furthermore, you once said someone gave you directions. You wanted to repay that person, wanted to treat them to a meal. That person is her right. How many days have you known her? That you already like her this much. So after all, does she even know you already have a girlfriend? She used her hands to beat my chest one strike after another. I remained silent without saying a word in my heart, suddenly feeling very tired. I ran a hand over my face, thinking back. I also felt very aggrieved. Myself. Today, being misunderstood by Joe Meow for no reason was one thing, but unexpectedly even Liu Fifi didn't trust me. Actually, Liu Fifi was hiding in the corner of the staircase. She raised her head up, seeing that I didn't chase after her, and angrily buried her head into her knees. Gu-chen, you big idiot, bah! Tears welled up once again. Liu Fifi stifled her choked voice and wept. How long has it been since I cried like this? Since childhood, she has always been the baby precious, pampered by the whole family in the palm of their hands. When had she ever suffered this much grievance? And that Gu-chen guy too, bah! How could he do that? The more she thought, the angrier she got. The more she thought, the more aggrieved she felt. Don't know how long she cried, right? At this moment, a pair of long, slender legs appeared in the blurry vision of Liu Fifi. Fifi finally grew a brain and came to find me. She cried so pitifully, like a little rabbit suffering from grievances. Like that. Are you okay? I snapped out of my daze, while Liu Fifi suddenly felt a bit embarrassed, not wanting me to see this miserable state of hers. Hey, how did you find your way here? I heard that voice, frowned and asked, how long have you been hiding here crying? Liu Fifi didn't answer. She stood up and said to me, let's go. Strolling around, the two of them walked on the deserted path. Because it was during class hours. There was no one around, it was very deserted. Liu Fifi, let me ask you, do you want to go back to class? She thought for a moment, shook her head and said no. Don't want to go back? Even without looking in the mirror, I can guess how red my eyes are from crying right now. If I go back, other classmates will also be curious. Although the school campus is quite large, walking back and forth would still attract a lot of attention. So the two of us went to a small park. Then the two of us said in unison, I'm sorry. It's my fault. Then both were startled for a moment and looked at each other and smiled. I'm sorry, Fifi. I shouldn't have treated you like that. Actually, Joe Meow and I are just friends. I never thought of letting her become a conflict between the two of us. And about what I said before, having a meal with her was also just to thank her. And that video too. Actually, at that time, I was already prepared to leave. It was her who reached out her hand and pulled me back. Afterward, the two of us have always kept our distance. I'm also at fault. I should have trusted you. Actually, I was also a bit jealous, feeling like Zhishen and Joe Meow were too close and ignored me, which is why I was so heartbroken. Although I'm still very angry, but anyway, you found me at the staircase afterward. Your performance wasn't bad. Plus, I also wrongly blamed you. So merits and faults cancel out, I forgive you. Let's just go straight home, the two of us. These eyes of yours. You need to go home and apply some ice to take care of them carefully. Otherwise, tomorrow your eyes will turn into panda eyes. When Liu Fifi heard me say that, she glared at me again. I burst out laughing, putting my arm around her shoulder, getting ready to go home. Returning home and tidying up a bit, it has been a tiring day today. The two of us also cleaned up and went to sleep, waiting until the next day to go to school. I walked to the academic building, and again saw Joe Meow's silhouette appearing right before my eyes, vaguely. So I reported to Liu Fifi. I'll go over and say a few words to Zhou Miao. Yesterday's matter isn't completely finished yet. Saying that fearing Liu Fifi would get angry again, so I hurriedly added, it'll be quick. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Saying that, I immediately ran over there, leaving Liu Fifi to let out a soft, and step aside to wait for me. Zhou Miao, wait for me. I called Zhou Miao back. Zhou Miao smiled and said to me, good morning, Guchen. Good morning. Regarding the security guard matter, hearing me finish, she replied in utter shock. I didn't expect you to actually go find the principal. I already asked the principal to invite that guard back to work, so you don't need to worry anymore, Zhou Miao. She apologized to me again. I really blamed you wrongly. I'm truly sorry. It's all a small matter. I have to go back to class heading off first. Bye-bye. Saying that, I went to find Liu Fifi to leave together. At this time, I also walked toward my classroom. Parting with Liu Fifi just as I was about to enter the class, I saw Zhou Miao's figure walking past. It's almost time for class. Why isn't Zhou Miao going back to her classroom? There's only 1 minute left, so I curiously followed her. Meanwhile, in another scene, Liu Fifi had already sat down in her seat. The smile on her face had vanished, becoming cold again. Wu Chen fearfully walked over and carefully asked. Eldest Miss Liu Fifi's long, slender fingers tapped on the desk, looking extremely irritated. A moment later, she finally spoke up. Go to the second classroom on the 3rd floor. Help me do something. Yes, Wu Chen respectfully replied, waiting for her orders. Go see if Gu Chen is in class right now, and who he is talking to. If there's any situation, let me know, but you must not let him know you're there. Got it. I understand. Liu Fifi waved her hand, the expression on her face relaxing a bit, as she flashed a smile. I'll go right away, Wu Qian said while running out of the classroom. However, not far after leaving the class, she bumped into Bai Qingxiang, who was walking up. Bai Qingxiang is the most handsome male student among the second-year students, and is Liu Fifi's #1 admirer, self-proclaiming to be Liu Fifi's boyfriend. As soon as she saw Bai Qingxiang, Wu Xian hurriedly tried to please him, calling him brother-in-law. Are you here to find Eldest Miss? Eldest Miss is waiting for you. Bai Qingxiang has a fair and cold complexion, giving off a vibe of aloofness. But once he smiles, that coldness instantly melts away. He nodded and asked, where are you going? Going to buy something for her. No, it's not like that. Eldest Miss ordered me to go to the second classroom on the 3rd floor to help her find someone. Find who? Is it a guy or a girl? A guy named Wu Qian. Normally, is very good at pleasing the men around Eldest Miss. So whatever he asked, she answered, yeah, Gu Chen. What's his relationship with Liu Fifi? Wu Xian said awkwardly, I don't know about this either. I'm just following Eldest Miss's instructions. If there was any news, she wouldn't hide it from Bai Qingxiang either. Although she didn't know how long he would stay by Eldest Miss's side. Giving some benefits to pull closer their relationship is also a tactic to win people over. Who knows, there might be a time to use it in the future. He suddenly burst out laughing and said to Wu Qian, I'm a bit thirsty. Go buy me a bottle of refreshment at the convenience store first and buy one for Fifi too. Seeing Wu Qian seem to hesitate, Bai Qingxiang glared. Is Gu Chen important, or am I important? Weigh it yourself. Looking at Bai Qingxiang's arrogant attitude, Wu Qian thought that recently Bai Qingxiang has been highly favored. Who knows, maybe he'll break the record and become the man who stays by Liu Fifi's side the longest. Besides, lately, Eldest Miss hasn't shown any signs of getting tired of him, nor does she have a new target yet. So after weighing things up, she still felt Bai Qingxiang was a bit more important. Therefore, she hurriedly flattered him, saying, does that even need to be said? Of course you're the most important. I'll go buy it right away. Just rest assured. With me here, Fifi won't get angry. Just go buy the drinks first. Then it won't be too late to go look for that Gu Chen guy or whatever. For sure. Brother-in-law, 1 word from you is worth 10 from anyone else. All right. Go quickly and stop being so smooth-tongued. Watching Wu Qian walk away, indeed heading in this direction of the convenience store, Bai Qingxiang finally withdrew his gaze and slowly walked toward the classroom. Fifi! Just as he entered the door, he walked straight toward Liu Fifi. The empty desk next to Liu Fifi was actually reserved exclusively for her friends to use. Bai Qingxiang sat down on the chair next to her, putting one arm around her shoulder and smoothly leaning in close to her. Not hearing Liu Fifi reply, he finally realized the atmosphere in the classroom was a bit strange. Looking up and seeing Liu Fifi's expressionless face, he couldn't help but be startled and alarmed. He acted all caring and considerate, asking Fifi, what's wrong? Did someone upset you? Lu Fifi was already a bit annoyed, and seeing him arrive made her feel even more irritated. What did you come here for? I missed you, Bai Qingxiang said, looking at her affectionately. Lu Fifi, however, didn't care, in the slightest. Her entire mind seemed to have been swept away by something. Bai Qingxiang felt dissatisfied in his heart, but didn't dare show it outwardly. A man's intuition vertical bar told him intuition told me that the person Lu Fifi is thinking about right now is definitely Gu Chen. Before long, Wu Chen came back with the drinks. She was panting heavily, stopping at the door to catch her breath, holding 2 bottles of drinks in both hands as she walked over. Eldest miss, here are your refreshments, she said while placing the 2 bottles of drinks in front of the 2 of them. Gaze vertical bar. Lu Fifi shifted away from the drink bottles to look at the face of Wu Chen. Did I tell you to go buy refreshments? Damn. Turns out I told her to go buy them. I was worried about you. Worried you'd be thirsty. The air seemed to freeze for half a second. Suddenly, Liu Fifi gave him a cold glance, and without any mercy said, "Get the hell out of my sight right now. I don't want to see your face anymore." Bai Qingxiang looked at her with an extremely shocked expression, as if no matter how he thought about it, he couldn't understand why she would fly into such a rage. Fifi, I know I was wrong. Don't be mad at me. However, he had miscalculated. Liu Fifi right now was in no mood to be coaxed. Don't make me repeat myself a second time. The task I just gave you, have you done it yet? Not yet, eldest miss. Don't be mad, I'll go right away. Bai Qingxiang at this time looked at Liu Fifi and asked, so what you meant just now was, you want to break up with me? It seemed like he insisted on asking clearly to the core before he would believe this was the truth. That's right, Liu Fifi nodded in reply. From today onward, don't appear in front of me anymore. Why? Why could she be so heartless? Even though he had heard before that the eldest miss of the Liu family is not a loyal type. When in a relationship, she can treat you very well, but after breaking up, she's extremely cold-blooded. Don't delude yourself into thinking she will care about old feelings and still have some lingering concern for you. Yet he had always thought that he was an exception. These words from Liu Fifi to Bai Qingxiang were like a bolt from the blue, but to the other male students, it was an absolute piece of blockbuster good news. Especially the guys in class who had exhausted all their energy fighting tooth and nail just to get into this class to get close to the eldest miss. They all harbored the dream of using proximity to get close to her. Now this is great. The eldest miss is single again. That means they all have a shot, so they didn't give a damn about Bai Qingxiang anymore, even sarcastically telling him to beat it. Why are you so thick-skinned? Eldest miss already told you to scram, and you're still shamelessly clinging on. Leave quickly and you're banned from stepping into our classroom from now on. Exactly, can't you see Liu Fifi is already sick of you? Who do you think you are? Beat it. Stop being an eyesore to Fifi here. Bai Qingxiang's face turned stark white. When had he ever suffered such an insult since entering Shangde University? Thanks to his handsome looks plus a stroke of pure luck, he quickly became the eldest miss's boyfriend, and through that became the school's new campus god. Because Shangde University has an unwritten rule, whoever is the boyfriend of the eldest miss of the Liu family is automatically the #1 guy of Shangde. He had always enjoyed this glory, feeling like he was the center of everyone's adoration. But as high as he was hyped up before, that's how hard he crashed down now. Bai Qingxiang finally couldn't take these harsh, bitter words and bolted straight outside. Liu. Fifi didn't even spare him a single glance, but her calm gaze swept across the room, instantly shutting everyone up. Right now, her heart was filled with anxiety, an anxiety that was hard to put into words. She didn't even know why, but she couldn't help overthinking things, and stood up aimlessly, just as Wu Qian came rushing over. Eldest miss, the guy you told me to find isn't in class. I asked his classmates, and they said he left right after entering, and hasn't come back. Liu Fifi asked in an aloof voice, what? He didn't go back to class? Then where did he go? No wonder she kept feeling so anxious. Her bad gut feeling had actually come true. I'm not too sure about this either. Wu Qian couldn't help but wonder in her heart. This male student named Gu Chen, what exactly is his relationship with Liu Fifi? To make Liu Fifi care this much? Liu Fifi frowned, stood up and said, even if you have to turn this whole school upside down, you must find him for me. Did this guy somehow offend Liu Fifi? This was also the first time anyone had seen Liu Fifi throw such a huge tantrum. With her expression looking this terrible, Wu Jin broke out in a cold sweat and hurriedly complied. The surrounding classmates in the room all looked bewildered, curious about what on earth had happened. Who does eldest miss want to find, but no one dared step up to ask, let alone speak loudly. Right now, the eldest miss was radiating a freezing aura that screamed, "Stay away!" Once Liu Fifi left the classroom, everyone looked at each other and started whispering in hushed tones. Did you see that eldest miss's face was so dark? I don't think I've ever seen her this angry before. Hey, do you think the guy she's looking for did something to piss her off? Looks like that guy is done for. When Liu Fifi gets mad, it's terrifying. Exactly full. The reason Wu Qian could become the eldest Mrs. Sidekick, aside from knowing how to flatter her, was her high efficiency. She very quickly went to the security office to ask around. Meanwhile, Liu Fifi was standing in the hallway feeling incredibly anxious and restless, yet not knowing what to do. So she randomly found a classroom to sit down in, waiting for Wu Qian to return. Wu Qian came back to report. No students left the school midway today, meaning Gu Chen is still on campus. Upon receiving this news, Liu Fifi's expression finally seemed to soften a bit. She immediately ordered Wu Qian to spread the word, just like she said. Even if they had to flip the entire campus, they had to find Gu Chen. Although the Shangde University campus is massive, with the influence of Liu, Fifi wanting to find a person isn't hard at all. In fact, you could say it's an absolute piece of cake. But what she didn't expect was the final report saying they couldn't find Gu Chen. She angrily glared at Wu Qian. How could you not find him? Wu Qian's forehead was dripping with cold sweat, but she didn't dare wipe it, saying tremblingly, "Every place we could check has been checked. Even the faculty offices and student dorms were searched, but there's still no sign of him. He might really not be in the school anymore. Not in the school anymore. What, does he have wings to just fly out?" The guards all said they never saw Gu Chen leave the school. Aside from still being on campus, where else could he have run off to? Eldest miss, I can't think of anything either. Right, it's also possible he has another way to leave the school. A way that doesn't let the guards find out, or he didn't walk out through the main gate, so the guards didn't see him. Liu Fifi pondered for a moment without saying anything. He just got to Shangde. There's no way he could know another way to get out. Even though that's the case, this is the most logical explanation. Otherwise, how could Gu Chen just vanish into thin air? I don't believe in ghosts and gods, so I don't think anything paranormal happened. But Gu Chen didn't tell me where exactly he went either, just disappearing like that inexplicably. What if something happened? She feared what if an accident happened to him. She didn't dare think any deeper. Wu Qian could be considered the encyclopedia of Shangde. She knew a bit about everything happening in the school. Therefore, she quickly put it together. If one doesn't walk out through the school's main gate, what other way is there to leave the school without being found out by others? Right, eldest miss? Doesn't the school have surveillance? Cameras search from those places. Who knows, there might be a clue. Liu Fifi was anxious for a moment and completely forgot about this. So she nodded and said, "Let's do just that. Go check the surveillance cameras right now." Wu Qian looked at her awkwardly and said, "But surveillance footage can only be viewed with the principal's permission. I don't have the authority to check the cameras, so eldest miss has to personally step up." Liu Fifi coldly said, "Got it," and walked toward the principal's office. Wu Qian hurriedly followed along. Inside the principal's office, the chair behind the desk had been taken over by Liu Fifi. "Eldest Miss Liu, this is the school's surveillance system. There are 300 camera feeds in total. You can view them at your leisure." 300 feeds. There are actually that many. Liu Fifi furrowed her brows. Wu Qian knew what she meant just by looking at her expression. So she stepped forward and said, "Eldest miss, how about I find it for you?" "No need, I'll do it myself." Wu Qian was a bit startled, but didn't dare say anything, taking a step back and standing behind to wait for orders. Liu Fifi's long, slender fingers nimbly tapped on the keyboard. It was clearly her first time touching this system, but she seemed very familiar with it, completely not asking the principal how to operate it, being able to control it proficiently all by herself. Wu Qian's jaw dropped as she watched. Even though eldest Miss's computer usage usually stopped at the level of playing games, looking at her actions, it truly seemed like she knew it like the back of her hand. Wu Qian had followed eldest Miss for so long but never knew. Turns out eldest Miss was actually this badass. Very quickly, Liu Fifi opened up the locations that Wu Qian mentioned, playing 6 videos simultaneously. Fast-forwarding the time, she looked as if she could read 10 lines at once, staring at the videos without blinking. Wu Qian stood behind her watching and grew dizzy. After watching for only 10 minutes, she already felt her eyes aching and dry, but Liu Fifi seemed completely unaffected, even increasing the fast-forward speed. Another 10 minutes passed. Wu Qian felt her head pounding, almost unable to endure it anymore. But she didn't dare be lazy, still having to keep her eyes glued to the videos. Suddenly, Liu Fifi raised her voice. Ah! Found it! Wu Qian jarred out of her wits, hurriedly leaning closer to the screen. Only to see on the surveillance screen, I was casually walking out from the small path on the back mountain behind the school. In my hand, I was holding a bottle of soda I just bought, looking extremely leisurely. Liu Fifi tapped her fingertips hard on the desk, the tension on her face finally relaxing a few notches. Both angry and amused, she cursed under her breath. He actually hid out on the back mountain. Gu Chen, you bastard, you drove me crazy looking for you. Wu Qian looked at eldest Miss's anxious yet angry state and couldn't help but ask softly, Eldest Miss, do we need to go to the back mountain to find him now? Liu Fifi took a deep breath, suppressed the panic in her heart, stood up and walked straight out. Of course we're going to find him. I have to ask him to make it clear. Why did he hide away without saying a word, making the whole school stir up to search for him? I was enjoying the breeze on the back mountain for a while, just about to head back to class, when I saw Liu Fifi striding quickly toward me. The rims of her eyes were a bit red. One look and it's clear she was worried to death. My heart softened just as I was about to open my mouth to apologize. Liu Fifi walked straight up right in front of me, raising her hand and gently punching my chest. Gu Chen, do you know how worried about you I was? I thought something happened to you. Flipping the entire school upside down, even the surveillance cameras were checked, and yet you're hiding here slacking off. I just felt the classroom was too stuffy and wanted to go out to breathe. Some fresh air didn't expect to make you this anxious. I'm sorry, Fifi. I hurriedly grabbed her hand, explaining in a soft voice. She glared at me but didn't brush my hand away. There won't be a next time. Even if you want to go out, you must say a word to me. I smiled, nodded, and reached out my hand to stroke her hair. Got it, my fiancé. Hearing the word fiancé, Liu Fifi's two cheeks instantly flushed red, gently pushing me. Who is your fiancé? Stop being so full of yourself. Looking at her shy demeanor, my heart was filled with warmth. From being forced into the engagement, to living together and bickering, and then to the misunderstanding over Zhou Miao, I finally realized that I had long since liked this childhood friend, whom I've been bickering with from childhood to adulthood. The matter on Zhou Miao's side I had also explained clearly. We are just ordinary friends. She also understood my feelings, smiling and wishing me and Liu Fifi the best. Yu Xin still maintained that aloof appearance, occasionally greeting me as we kept a perfectly fitting classmate distance. As for that security guard who got fired over the misunderstanding, I not only asked the principal to invite him back, but also paid out of my own pocket to give him a raise. The security guard kept expressing his gratitude, and I also finally understood. One cannot rely on family background to act recklessly, but must learn to respect every single person. Liu Fifi also completely drew a clear boundary with Bai Qingxiang, wholeheartedly staying by my side. We were no longer as playful and capricious as before. We went to school together, left school together, and returned to the apartment together. Occasionally bickering, but always making up very quickly. Very soon we successfully graduated. The Liu family didn't rush us anymore, but respected our wishes, waiting until we were both ready before holding a cozy wedding. On the wedding day, Liu Fifi wore a pure white wedding dress, her eyes curving as she looked at me, her eyes brimming with tenderness. I held her hand, amidst the blessings of family and friends, solemnly promising. Liu Fifi, bickering from childhood to adulthood. I once thought we'd forever be frenemies, but only now do I know that you're the person I want to cherish most in this life. From now on, I will take good care of you, for the rest of our lives, never parting. Gu Chen, I do. Liu Fifi's eyes welled with tears as she smiled and replied. Father Liu, Mother Liu, and Grandfather Liu sat below the stage, their faces filled with immense satisfaction. The servants at home also smiled and clapped. Zhou Miao and Yu Xin, attending as guests, also sent their most sincere blessings. After getting married, we were still as sweet as when we were dating, occasionally recalling the funny bickering stories of our childhood. I finally understood that the most beautiful love is never a grand dramatic encounter, but the companionship of childhood, friends. It's that after the noisy bickerings, you still want to walk through the rest of your life with the other person. From then on, Liu Fifi and I relied on each other, living life earnestly, cherishing each other, turning the ordinary days into the happiest version of themselves.